Welcome to online lecture series for Software Engineering KCS 601. Myself Dr. Inderjit Kaur, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In the previous lecture, we started with the different phases of SDLC. We started with the requirement phase, preliminary design phase, then main design phase, that was consisting of detailed design. Then we started with the coding, performing the testing at different levels, starting from the unit testing, then integration testing, system testing and the acceptance testing. Then we differentiated among the alpha and beta testing. Then we told about the static testing and dynamic testing approach. So, all about after covering the testing approaches, we move on to the last phase of SDLC, that is our software maintenance phase. So, software maintenance, it plays a big role in my entire software. In terms of effort and cost, it consumes almost 70% of the cost of entire software, and most of the time it is also being spent in software maintenance. This is the phase that comes into the picture once the delivery of the software, means the software has been evolved in the market and now it is in operational, and the next thing is in the market it should survive for at least 10 to 15 years, that is the target. For that we need to discuss the software maintenance. So, that was the need for software maintenance. Once we have seen the need, we have worked with the different types of software maintenance. They were our corrective, additive, preventive and perfective. Then we defined the cost of software maintenance using different models. B. Boehm and Baladi and Lehman, they have told to calculate the software maintenance effort in terms of M and ACT and annual maintenance effort, those were being calculated. And then after we have defined software re-engineering and reverse engineering principles. After that we have switch over to the software configuration management, means whatever changes that are coming during software maintenance, how we are doing them, how we are defining the process for doing the SCM. Now, next is to have a look about the change control process, then various software version control approaches and an overview of the different case tools. So, this lecture it is divided into 3 parts. Firstly, we will be starting with the change control process, why it is required and how it is being done. Then we will be starting with the software version control approach, and then we will give an overview for the different case tools approach. So, let us start with the change control process. As we know that once the software is in operational stage, then it suffers from the different kind of problems. The problems are, there can be the lack of control, means the lack of control on different coding standards. Then there can be lack of monitoring, means the resources they are not being monitored properly. Then the third reason, there can be uncontrolled changes, that is the changes they are not being done as per the original plan. Sometimes there can be some runtime changes. So, how they should be incorporated. Then the fourth thing, there is a lack of traceability, that is the user requirements, they are not traceable at the present moment. So, when they all attacks the real time software into the market, then how they should be tackled, that is how my change control process should be defined, that is when there are simultaneous updates and they are being shared and there is a common code control versions, how they should be taken care. So, let us define the change control process first. This process it is being used to document, to identify and to authorize the different changes in our IT sector. This change control process, it reduces the chances of unauthorized alterations, unauthorized disruptions or some errors that can come inside the system. So, those unauthorized alteration means runtime change by not authorized persons, they should not be taken care. Then it guides to prepare and equip the individual persons to adopt the change in order to meet my organization success and in order to meet their outcomes. So, it is not necessary to always be strict on your guidelines, we may adopt the changes as per the new outcomes that we want to meet. So, these are my requirements definitions, that are requirements, they are being defined earlier. Then as per these requirement, I move on to the specification, I move on to the design, coding and testing phases, and then I move on to the acceptance testing. Now, suppose there is a change in the requirement definition. So, this change in requirement definition, it will be doing the changes in all these phases and it will doing the changes in my acceptance testing also. That is why there is a bidirectional arrow in the change. So, if requirements are getting changed, that means everything from the specification phase till user testing phase is being changed. So, how they are being taken care means starting from the document level, starting from the identification level, starting from the authorized changing level, means starting from the acceptance level, how all they are being changed as per the new requirement. If one change is triggered, that is the change control process. Then creating a request for change, reviewing and assisting the request for change, planning the change, testing the change, creating a change proposal, how this change is being implemented, how the change performance is being reviewed, and now how this is being closed. This all phases, these all steps, they come under change control process. This should not take place in a random manner, it should happen in a organized way. So, once my change request should come, there should come the request for change request, it should be reviewed by somebody, it should be assisted by somebody ki whether this change is feasible or no. Then if it is feasible, if it is being approved, then we should move on towards the planning for this change. So, after planning, this change should be tested once there is a coding being done as per this planned change. Then a proposal to change is being created, after that it should be implemented, means the different test results should be generated as per this change request. After then it should be reviewed ki how much there is a change in the performance in comparison to the existing performance. Was it a good idea to change or no? So, after then it is closed. So, these are the steps in which my change control process happens. Then defining the importance of this CCP means change control process. It improves the performance of my software product, it increases the engagements, it enhances the innovation, it includes the new technologies and it implements the new requirements. It incorporates the new requirements actually, that is why there was the reason for doing the change request. Then it is written ki it is reducing cost. Sometimes it may increase cost, but the idea is to do the innovation, to inculcate as per new requirements and to reduce future cost by switching over to this change request. So, overall the software quality product or overall the performance of the software, it is being improved. Then these are the steps for change control process. There are basically two documents that are being involved in this change control process. The first one is the change log. As I said ki there can be many changes, so there should be record should be kept for different persons. So, the log is being kept. This is the log file recorded. That tells, it is a just document that lists about all the changes request, like the project number, this is the project name, this is prepared by, then title, reviewed by, this is my document version number, document version date, then review date. Here I am doing for the any project, customer name, and there should project ID, and the change request log is being generated as per this project ID. Now, the request number, description, the requirements are referenced, who initiated, what was the date, the price, status date, how it is being prioritized, and the target close date. The requirement reference means here I am identifying the location of the description of the requirements that will be affected by this change. There can be requirement ID for different requirements if there are multiple requirement changes in a single document, in a single software. That is, here I am maintaining the log as per my project number, project change request ID is being kept. We do it as per the priority of the software, who is the owner, the details of the owner, the target date, status, the status date, who raised this, and the date when it was being raised and closed. So, this is how we maintain the change log form, that is one kind of document done during this change control process. Then the next is the change request form. Multiple persons, they can initiate this change request. So, it should be documented somewhere, because there are multiple persons being involved in one organization, or many organization may be using the same software. So, the software organization who has developed this, they should also think about the change control process. So, first is the change control process log, means as per this software how many change logs are being generated. Then next is how many change request form is being generated. So, this is the document that is being used to support the decision making process, like what is the type of change, what will be the benefit for doing this change, what is the name of the resource that is requesting this change, what is the time and cost for doing this change, and who has authorized this change. So, this all should be recorded in this change request form. This is the project, for which project it is being done, the controlled items that are being identified, change number and version number is being noted here. What are the change details, including the importance and urgency. Then who is the requester for doing this change and who has raised it with date, who has investigated this change and who has approved this change. There are various sections. First person has propose the changes. Change request has come as the first process. Now, it is raised by somebody, that somebody, and why is being written in my section A. Then the second task is investigator of this change and how it is going to impact my product. So, the investigation outcomes are being written and accordingly its priority is being decided, whether it should be prioritized as high, medium or low. Then who has implemented this change in the software? Next level of hierarchy, the first level, then the second level investigator, the third level implementer. And then whether the change has been implemented, that is by project manager. So, we can see that this change request form, it involves the 4 persons. First was the identification. For change request. The second is who investigated, means approval. After investigated, it should be implemented. And then project manager approved. So, it is done in these 4 levels. Then the next, it shows the flow diagram for this change control process. We started with creating a request for change as we have discussed just now. Then these changes in request, they are being reviewed and they are being assessed ki how this changes in a request is being impacting my performance. So, they are being reviewed and accessed at the second level. Then as per the review, the planning for change occurs, either it should be yes or it should not be planned. Then that comes at the third stage. After this, if planning should be done, means if we have planned this change, then we should test it at the fourth step. So, after testing, we should create a change proposal in entire modules. Then we should think about the implementation at the sixth step. Then we should think about the review. We should take the review for this implemented thing. This review will tell us how well performed is our new system, and then lastly we are closing it. So, this is how my change control process is occurring. It follows a specific pattern to implement the changes in the system. So, it follows a strategic approach. It does not happen in a haphazardical way. Then the second part of the lecture, that is my software version control, also known as SVC. It is called as revision control, or we can name it as the source control management. It is a management strategy. It is a management approach to track and store the changes in my software development document, starting from the beginning till my end of software life. then we can say that this revision control is nothing, it is just a data repository that is tracking the changes that will be made by whom and made by when they are being made and who made them. Then it tracks all the inputs to create a reliable historical record of the entire project, and it complete view of changes and revisions they are being given by this SVC. Doing and maintaining the different version control of a software, it results in various benefits, that it supports the overall agile development plan. Then it allows the different versions as numbering conventions, so that it is easily identifiable by the team members. It manages the directories, files and individual changes are also being allowed by the users. Then it prevents the overwriting, that is the major benefit. Then it preserves all the versions for doing the recall and analysis at any stage of my SDLC. Here the change information, it is kept over the life of software solution, it does not goes away. Then it reduces the development errors and conflicts, and the last goal, that is it improves my customer satisfaction, that is the most desirable one. It maintains a reliable connection with my software users. There are some SVT commonly used tools, some of them they are being listed as Git, that is the best version control tool available in the market, and it provides support for non-linear development, and it follows the distributed repository model for maintaining SVC. Then the second kind of tool is CVS. It is a popular revision control system with client server repository model, and it allows multiple developers to work on the same project. Then the third kind of tool is SVN. It has again the client server repository model, and it allows distributed branching. Then is Mercurial. It allows the distributed revision control tool, and it is written in Python, and it is intended for software developers. It can support Unix, Windows and Mac OS, and it gives high performance and scalability, very commonly used tool. Then is the Monotone. It is written in C++, and it is a distributed revision control it possesses, and it gives us the good support for internationalization and localization. The major aim using Monotone, it focuses on integrity. Then the third topic for this lecture is KALAM. KALAM, it stands for Computer Aided Software Engineering, that is the set of software application programs that are used to automate the various SDLC activities. It is being used by a software project manager, analyst and engineers. So, following this case tool approach, it accelerates the development of my project to have more desirable result in less time and effort. It helps to uncover the flaws before moving ahead to the next stage. Then commonly used case tools, they are analysis tools, design tools, project management tools, database management tools, documentation tools. Here the different components of the case tools are, the first one is the central repository, that is it serves as the source of common, integrated and consistent information. We can say that this central repository, it is a central place for the storage for keeping the product specifications, requirement documents and other related documents. It also serves as data dictionary. This central repository. This is my planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing and maintenance. This comes under uppercase, this is my lowercase component, here I am having the integrated case. So, the next component is uppercase tools. So, they are being used in doing the planning, analysis and design stages of my SDLC, and these lowercase tools, they are being used for testing, implementation and maintenance phase. Then once they are being integrated case tools, that is they are helpful in all the stages starting from the requirement gathering till I am going to the documentation. These are the different kind of types of case tools: diagram tools, process modeling tools, project management tools, documentation tools, different configuration management tools, web development tools, quality assurance and maintenance. So, let us discuss one by one. Diagram tools, they are being used to represent the system components, to represent the data and control flow and system structure in a graphical form. Commonly used diagram tools are flow chart maker tool. Then second is my process modeling tool. This tool, it creates the software process model to develop the software. The commonly used tools are EPF Composer. The third kind of tool is my project management tool. That is a tool used for doing the project planning, for estimating the cost and effort of my project. How can I schedule and do the resource planning of my project? The commonly used tools are Creative Pro Office, Track Project and Basecamp. Then the documentation tools to generate the documents for technical users and end users. The commonly used are Doxygen, Doctor Explain. Then the fifth kind of tool is analysis tool to gather requirements and do the automatic check for inconsistency. Accept 360, Asopuma and Visible Analyst, they are the commonly analyst tools. Then design tools, they are going to help the software designers to design the block structure of my proposed software. Then is the configuration management tools. This configuration management tools, it is keeping the different version and revisions of the software. It serves as a baseline configuration management and it changes the control management. Then is the web development tools. Web development tools, they assist in designing the web pages. The most commonly used are Fontello and Adobe Edge Inspect. Then quality assurance tools, they are configuring and they are doing the configuring and change control and software testing tools. The commonly examples are SOAP test, Apps Watch. Then the maintenance tool, they are going to help the software organization in maintenance phases of SDLC by providing us the automatic logging or error reporting techniques. The commonly used tools are Bugzilla for defect tracking, HP Quality Center. So, this was all about SVC and case tools. Thank you.